Hello everyone, it's Haley. If you've watched my previous Vlogmas videos, then you know that I have been crocheting huntricks from K-pop Demon Hunters. I have already completed Zoe and Rumi and started on Mira, and today I am finishing Mira along with my last market of the year. Make sure to stay until the end to see my market recap, including my experience, what I sold, and a haul of what I bought. Let's get on with the video. I just finished setting up. I somehow managed to set up before the time, 9:30 was when we were supposed to finish setting up, and it starts at 10. I need to finish making Mira. I was so close to being done with her wig, and then I realized I was supposed to put a single crochet in between each strand of hair, so I had to unravel most of it. So far. I made one sale. I sold my frog for $5 right before the market started to another vendor. And I also finished Mira. I like how she turned out. She's cute. I got this hickory blueberry chai. I hate it. It tastes like bacon to me. Hayden said it's the best chai he's ever had.
Can you guys tell me? Oh, you can't see it. It's a hot and cold game on Reddit, and the top 3 answers closest to the actual answer are closet, mirror, and coat room.
My hand is shaking.
I don't understand.
Comment your guesses, except this will be up in like 2 to 3 days, so it'll be too late. It was door the whole time. I'm just like using my pin to punch holes. So I'm just like punching a hole, sticking it in. Boom. It goes 2, 3, 4, but then 1, 2, 3. I am playing a game of literal yarn chicken because I'm crocheting a chicken. This is how much I have left, and I think I have 2 rows left. I'm thinking it'll be enough, but we'll see. Finished the chicken. I love how perturbed she looks. And this is how much yarn I have left. And the final chicken of the day, unless they all sell out. No, actually, I don't think I can make any more. I haven't updated in a while, but at 11 o'clock I sold an octo, and then at 11:30 I sold a cat. But it is now almost 2 o'clock, and we have not had any sales since 1:30. But someone did say that they might come back for Rumi, so I don't know if they actually will or not. Why does it look so sad? There's this man that came in who really liked my turtle. I'll put a clip of it, but he said it was too big and asked if I had any smaller ones, and I said no. And I really did not feel like making a custom order. So I directed him to my website, and he was like, no, like, where are you located? I was like, I do this out of my house. Like, you can order from my website or you can buy here. That's the only options. I tried to even give him a discount on it, and he was like, no, it's too big. He really, really wanted a turtle, a little turtle about the size of my pumpkins. And so I was like, okay, fine, come back at 5 and it'll be ready. I feel like I sound so mean, but whatever. So I made a little turtle, and I'm not the happiest with how it turned out, but this is my first time making one this size. His legs are a little wonky, but maybe he's just swimming. So let me know what you think. And I was out of eyes, so I just used a pair of the eyes that I'm selling. And they're gold. You can't really tell on the camera. There you go. So, he's cute. I only charged him $10. I probably should have charged him more. But I didn't know how big it was gonna be. Yeah, that's the update. And our friends came by. So that was nice. I forgot to say a child tried to steal my camera earlier. I heard something like moving on the table, like dragging on the table. Hi, how are you?
Good. I want to buy your ones.
What size would you like?
I want them all.
Want them all? Alright. I don't know how much I just recorded, but that lady that just walked up bought all of my eyes. And I'm glad I bought them because I almost didn't make more. Paid off. It was only $15, but they don't take very long to make. It's like 2 minutes per eye, so that's pretty nice. Back to the child stealing my camera. I heard like this noise and I was like, what is that? And I turned and she was like vlogging, but the camera wasn't recording. So I was like, that would have been funny if it was recording. And I was like, excuse me. Can I have that back, please? So then I hid all of my important things. Because there's been a lot of children coming through and I've had to make sure, like, some of them will just grab stuff and be like, Mom, can I get this? And run across the room. And I'm like, keep it over here, please. Also, I really like these walls. It matches the turtle. This was a fun market, but it was not my best market. If you want to see my best market of the year, you can watch that here. I still enjoyed myself. This was the same location as my first market of the year, although it was indoors this time. This market went from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and we were expected to finish setup by 9:30. The coordinator had the option for us to set up the day before, but we live an hour away, so that wasn't practical for us. Plus our setup is super quick, like less than 30 minutes. So she let us come in the day of just a little bit early. So we told her we could get there by 9. We got there, I think at 9:15, but we still managed to set up by 9:30. Right at 9:30, I think. First, we got to the market and realized they provided tables and chairs for us. So we had brought 2 tables, 2 chairs, along with all of our other display items, only to realize that it was all for nothing. And it would have been a lot easier if they would have told us beforehand that those things would be provided. It was nice, I guess, that we didn't have to, it was one less thing to set up, but it was just frustrating that we had to walk a pretty good distance with all of our things. I was a little concerned about this market because there were several different rooms with vendors. And I was thinking that people would just walk past my room, which happened. There was a huge room where the majority of the vendors were. And then I was in a smaller room with about 6 or 7 vendors. Oh my gosh. Okay. Keep a straight face. So in that smaller room was me, a lady selling canned products that she made herself, and I ended up buying something, so make sure to keep watching to see what that was. I think I bought something from every vendor in that room. There's also someone selling, I don't remember what this technique is called. She told me, but I forgot. But she had magnets, trinket dishes, maybe something else I don't remember, with cute designs. And then the vendor on the other side of me was selling a bunch of different things. So it was 2 vendors at one section, and one person was selling crochet items, ornaments, and there's a lot of random stuff. And the other one was a 3D printer. And then she's also selling pins and keychains and cute things. Then I think there was 1 or 2 more vendors. So there were actually 6 or 7. I wasn't just doing that for the trend, okay? There were actually 6 or 7 vendors because the last vendor, I couldn't tell if it was 1 or 2 separate vendors, but they had cups, lip scrubs, a bunch of, again, this room was filled with so much random stuff. Only half of the vendors had like one niche. Everyone else was just randomness. I did also look in the bigger room. I'm not going to name off every single vendor there because that would take a while, but I did also buy something from the big room. Continuing with my experience, I enjoyed my vendor neighbors. The girl on the right of me who was selling the 3D printed stuff, I was talking to her. I ended up buying something from her, like I said, and after that, I asked her about like how she makes her products, and we were just talking back and forth about crafting, and her and my husband were talking about the game that was on, so we were just having an ongoing conversation throughout the market, so that was fun. My friends also came to visit again. They came to the first market and they came to the last one, so I appreciate their support. It's always fun when friends come and visit. And they bought something again. I thought the market was pretty busy. It's just that people were walking straight by my booth and weren't really interested. The busyness of the market wasn't the problem. I think it was just the audience. There were lots of kids, but I guess parents didn't want to buy their kids Christmas gifts while their kids were there. I did have one person say that they would get in touch with me later to potentially buy something. Oh, I need to re-download Instagram. Hopefully they didn't reach out to me through Instagram because I deleted that for a second. Although the market seemed busy to me, apparently the large room was the busiest, and there were a lot of vendors in the smaller room that were upset that we were being looked over, basically, which was my concern from the beginning. It didn't bother me that much because I hadn't looked into the bigger room yet, so I didn't see how busy it was until after people were complaining. I guess since so many people were complaining, the coordinator told us that she would waive the fee for the next market that we do. I was very appreciative of that, even though I don't think I actually paid the fee for this market. It was supposed to be $50 or $60, and I didn't remember paying for it, so I asked if I had paid, and she said yes. So I think I might have gotten into this market for free. I definitely paid for the first market, so maybe they saw that. Who knows? But yeah, it was a pleasant experience. And then after the market was over, we ate dinner with our friends and had a fun time. Let's move on to what I sold. I sold 1 frog for $5, 1 whale for $5, an octo for $10, which I was excited about because it's been a while since I sold any octos, a custom turtle for $10, and an elephant for $12. Those were both on one transaction. The man that bought these things first bought the elephant, and he really loved my normal size sea turtle, and he kept asking if I could make it smaller, if I had a smaller one, and I said no. I knew that I could crochet one at the market and it would take maybe an hour, but I really did not want to work on anything else. It was my last market and I just wanted to relax. I had just finished crocheting Mira and like 3 chickens, so I was like, I just want to rest. So we kept going back and forth saying like, please make one smaller. I was trying to send him to my website. He wanted it right then and there. So I said, okay, I'll make you one. I gave it to him for $10. Probably should have made it a little more expensive, but whatever. And he came and picked it up at the end of the market and it was fine. So I made $10 extra because I was willing to do a custom order. Another reason why I was so hesitant to do it is because I didn't have a pattern for a smaller turtle. So I would basically just do fewer rounds and hopefully it turned out the right size. And he was very happy with it. So I guess that's all that matters. So I guess it was worth it. I should have charged him maybe like 12 or 15, especially since I used safety eyes, the painted ones, because I wasn't planning on making anything extra at the market. So I didn't bring safety eyes. Usually I bring safety eyes every time in case there is a custom order or in case I want to crochet something else. But I had not planned on doing that. And the one time I need them, I don't bring them. So I used a pair of my eyes that I was selling. But he liked it in the end, so I guess that's all that matters. I also sold a squid for $15. So again, sea creatures haven't been doing well, so I was excited. The last plushie that I sold was a Siamese cat for $25. And then I sold out of all of my painted safety eyes. This is a funny story. There was this couple and they were talking about how his mom, I think, likes to make things with eyes. They had t-shirts for her business and I think she likes to put like eyelashes on them and make them all fun. So she likes to make plushies with eyes on them. And they told me that they were gonna tell her about it. She was at the market with, I think, her own booth. A few minutes later, this older woman comes, looks at my eyes, and she says, I'm gonna buy all of them. And I thought she was joking for a second, so I like did a little laugh like, huh. And then I realized she was being serious. So I was like, oh, sure thing, absolutely. And I was just so in shock that she bought all of them. That was $15 worth of eyes. I had 3 different sizes, 12 millimeter for $1, 20 millimeter for $2, and 22 millimeter for $3. So that was $15 worth of eyes. And she bought all of them. And I was like, did that just happen? I gave her the eyes and the backs and everything. And then after she leaves, I look down and there was a tiny back on my table. And I was like, no, she's missing a back now to one of her eyes. I walked throughout that whole facility trying to find her and could not. And I was mortified because I just sold her something that is missing a piece. And I can't find her, and I don't have any of her information. I couldn't find the vendor name that was on the t-shirts. I searched it up. I couldn't find it on the map that was given to us. So I just had to accept the fact that she was missing something. What I'm thinking happened is whenever I took out the eyes for me to use on the turtle, I took out too many backs and forgot to put one back in, or one fell out when I was giving it to her. I don't know, but that was definitely the worst part of the market because I was so, again, mortified, scared, embarrassed, and I felt so bad. Hopefully she can glue it back on. It's one of the smaller ones, so I think gluing it on, it might be small enough to do that, but I feel so bad. Anyway, I did not sell any of my Huntrix dolls, although the coordinator of the market said she would give my information to one of her friends because she brought her daughter and she really wanted Rumi. She was crying about it. I haven't heard from her since. It's the Thursday after, so who knows if I'll hear from her or not. I didn't sell my Bitsy the Snugglebug, my mushrooms, my Garfield cat, mouse snuggler, chickens, which I'm really surprised about. Almost every single person that walked by was drawn to the chickens. They thought they were hilarious, they thought they were cute, and more so than any of my other markets. People always loved the chickens, but they really loved them at this market, so I'm confused why no one bought them. My snowman, which I was also confused about because it was a Christmas holiday market, so who knows. I'm glad that I only made one. Although my tiny sea turtle sold, I didn't sell any of the bigger sea turtles, and not surprisingly, I didn't sell any of my pumpkins. I discounted them from $8 to $5 halfway through the market because I was realizing, oh yeah, this is a fall item and people now have their minds on Christmas and winter, so I marked those down. That brings me to a total of $107. Again, not my best market, but I didn't have to pay a fee, so I think it evens out. Plus, I got to make some connections, and I've been wanting to make those silicone bead pins. And the vendor that I was talking about, she doesn't make silicone pins, but she makes them with beads. And she has cute little characters on them. And she told me that she would sell me some supplies that she has extra of. So am excited about that. Oh, I gotta collect all the things that I bought. The first thing I bought was from my vendor neighbor, the one who was selling pins and 3D printed things. I was eyeing her pins the whole time because she had such cute characters and things, and the first thing I saw was Tiana holding a frog, and I was like, that's so cute. If there's one of my favorite princesses holding an animal, I'm buying it. But I didn't see any other princesses. I couldn't really tell really what else was over there, so I saw one with brown hair and I was like, is that Pocahontas? But I couldn't tell. So I later went up to the booth and I saw Pocahontas. I mean, this is like inspired. This isn't really accurate, but it's just like a girl. I guess she's Disney bounding as Pocahontas. But that's so cute, isn't it? And it looks like me if I was darker. But it's so cute. And she's holding a little raccoon. And it's not a pin, it's a keychain. So this is the kind of stuff she does. And she said she has some supplies that she could give me. So I'm really excited about that. And she can get me connected with a supplier for these. And that booth was called Be Somebody Creations. And here's all of her information if you're interested. The next thing I bought was these magnets. Look how cute they are. There were so many designs. There were strawberries, oranges, which I love oranges, but I saw these and I don't know what stood out to me. I guess it's the shade of blue. I just really like denim or dusty blue. I thought about getting strawberries because I want a strawberry themed kitchen, but those stood out to me. And the artist is Grace and Glaze. This is all of her information. I'll link all of their websites in the description. Finally, I bought this peppermint lip scrub. I have no idea what the vendor was for this. They didn't give me a card. Maybe I should start getting cards so people can remember for later or share it with other people. I will link the websites for these two ladies in the description. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more crafty content and Christmas content from me. Stay creative.